State of New California. Notice to all Californians. Chapter 2, Grievance 5, May 26, 2020. New California is a new state in development exercising its constitutional right to form from the state of California. The process to form New California is authorized and codified in Article 4, Sections 3 and 4 of the United States Constitution. Statement of intent. The citizens of New California have decided to remedy the abuse of power by the government of California by exercising their right to form a new state provided in the United States Constitution, Article 4, Sections 3 and Section 4. Quote, "We are determined to live under a state government in the United States of America and under the Constitution of the United States," end quote. New California Declaration of Independence of January 15, 2018 states, quote, "Whenever any form of government becomes destructive, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it and to institute new government. When a long train of abuses and acts to seize and hold the people's power without legal authority and pursuing invariably the same object that clearly demonstrates a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security," end quote. Preamble of the United States Constitution states, "We, the representatives of the undersigned counties within the state of California, do acknowledge and humbly invoke the favor of Almighty God for continued civil and religious liberty to ourselves and our posterity." First Amendment of the United States Constitution states, quote, "Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances," end quote. Fourth Amendment of the United States Constitution states, "The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue, but upon probable cause supported by oath or affirmation, and the particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized." The counties of the New California state brought forward 95 Chapter 1 grievances between January 2018 and November 2019. On April 28, 2020, New California State will issue 95 additional Chapter 2 grievances to be announced in public on Tuesdays at 11 a.m. State of New California. Chapter 2, Grievance 5, Declaration of Grievance, Statement of Facts. The people of California are suffering from a tyrannical state government which fails to provide a Republican form of governance, enables and supports across its southern border the invasion of the United States of America by illegal foreign nationals, and protects vicious criminals who commit outrageous acts of violence upon the citizens of America, all caused by a government of and for a monoparty system led by a tyrannical dictator who openly defies federal law. California state government is in direct violation of the following. United States Constitution, Article 4, Section 4. Quote, "The United States shall guarantee to every state in this union a republican form of government and shall protect each of them against invasion and on application of the legislature or of the executive when the legislature cannot be convened against domestic violence," end quote. United States Constitution, Article 6. "This Constitution and the laws of the United States which shall be made in pursuance thereof, and all treaties made or which shall be made under the authority of the United States shall be the supreme law of the land, and the judges in every state shall be bound thereby. Anything in the Constitution or laws of any state to the contrary notwithstanding." Fourth Amendment of the United States Constitution. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue, but upon probable cause supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. Order of the day. Prudence indeed, revolt is our right, our duty. by widespread and almost universal consensus, California has reached the threshold of all the abuse she can bear. The threshold of tyranny and governmental abuse has been reached and has now delegitimized the government of California. If the Chinese COVID-19 virus has been destructive, then the monoparty abuse of the citizens of California in response to the virus has been much more destructive. Some Californians will never recover from this abuse and destruction. Others will suffer for years to come. The loss of trust and confidence is not repairable, and the governor, along with the monoparty establishment, have lost their authority to govern. The 1776 Declaration of Independence states, quote, "Government derives its just power from the consent of the governed," end quote. The excessive degree of power the governor of California and the monoparty establishment have wielded against our own citizens is not by our consent. By universal acknowledgement in New California State, we declare this unwarranted power to be unjust. The dangerous usurpation of power has reached and surpassed the limits of gravity and transience. The 1776 Declaration of Independence states, quote, "Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes," end quote. The abuse, the trials which now beset the citizens of New California are not light. They're crushing and stifling. Rather than being transient, they're inferred by the monoparty establishment to be the, quote, "new normal," end quote. By definition, this is not a transient condition. The 2018 New California State Declaration of Independence goes on to state, quote, "However, when a long train of abuses and acts to seize and hold the people's power without legal authority, and pursuing invariably the same object that clearly demonstrates a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security," end quote. It is manifestly obvious the future security of all Californians has been damaged beyond the expectations of any normal recovery. And it is equally obvious that the monoparty political establishment in California intends to raise up a dystopian surveillance, censorship, medical, and financial control grid from the ashes of this government-created crisis, and to force this upon us as the, quote, "new normal," end quote. We reject this premise and these limits upon our liberty, and we declare that resistance to tyrants, whether they be local agents or bureaucrats sent by the governor, or other proxies, or the governor himself, by all means is as now justified as it was during the time of the founding of this country, and in accordance with the same principles that characterized our forefathers' struggle for independence. The character of the present governor of California, and indeed the entire monoparty political establishment of California, is blemished with dishonor and is not worthy of the public trust. The government under this present tyrant will go down as a period of infamy in the history of this country, due to the crippling and stifling nature of the existing dictatorial political apparatus, and the fact that the dismantling of it would be injurious to those citizens residing in areas that favor this form of government. We in the area defined as New California assert our independence, and we declare with the utmost solidarity and reliance upon God and each other that the only acceptable remedy for the past and present abuses of this government is the creation of New California State. The principled assertion of our independence and refusal of slavery and tyranny is now seen in protests and non-compliant behavior all across California, and will increase and continue until our cause is established and codified in a new constitution and a new government of the people, by the people, and for the people, with new and appropriate guards for our future security. There is one hope in a new constitution and a new economic future that the state of New California will provide. Insurrection. The government of California, the current socialist governor and monoparty system, along with local officials, are following a coordinated design with the intent to actively engage in acts of insurrection against the U.S. Constitution. The Insurrection Act of 1807 and the Emergency Economic Powers Act are United States federal laws that govern the ability of the President of the United States to deploy military troops within the United States to put down lawless insurrection and rebellion. Acts of secession. Therefore, the California government, in conjunction with the Socialist State Executive, instituted wherever the current Socialist governor has usurped power, has created a reign of terror on United States citizens living in California with the intent to secede from the United States of America and thus destroy the very union of states which secures our liberty and freedom. Abdication of authority. Betrayal by the sitting Socialist governor of California, the monoparty legislature, and local elected officials is evidence of abdication of their responsibilities of authority and sovereignty over the state and citizens of the United States living in California. Prayer. The citizens of New California State pray for the President to exercise his authority under the Insurrection Act of 1807 or the Emergency Economic Powers Act to end the tyranny being foisted upon the United States citizens living in California State. This concludes these proceedings. Website, newcaliforniastate.com. Phone number, 877-828-2753.